for the most part, we are looking at mountain hill snow, Scotland, probably the Pennines, Cleveland Hills, some of the Welsh mountains. And the big but is, it's cold enough for some of this to fall at lower levels. And this is the fun and games, where and exactly when.
We're likely to have hill snow, Jim, but where?
Maybe not just hill snow. I think. Look, meteorologists at the moment are having fun and games with this one. It's an area of low pressure that's going to come in during Thursday and scoop past us, and then bring in northeasterlies, roughly from what has been and still is a freezing cold, snowy Norway. So that's the direction of travel. So yeah, I think for the most part, we are looking at mountain hill snow, Scotland, probably the Pennines, Cleveland Hills, some of the Welsh mountains. And the big but is, it's cold enough for some of this to fall at lower levels. And this is the fun and games, where and exactly when. So let's just sort of cut the chase a little bit. I think for the most part, we're going to stay between the fridge and the freezer for the next week to 10 days. So we're in with that one. So I can be pretty sure that we won't get many arguments from many other meteorologists on that.
Right.
As far as the snow is concerned, I think the majority of it will be in those areas that I mentioned. The higher ground, the higher you are, the more likely. The more northern you are, the more likely. But in this game, I've been long enough in it to know that strange things happen. And I just think we've got to watch how these things develop over the next several days, particularly the models. I'm watching every model that comes in at the moment just to see if there's any differences. And I'm not saying they're necessarily great at it either. AI hasn't quite made it into predicting the exactness of weather yet.
Right.
So that's about where we are with it. It's a watching brief, to say the least.
Okay. I mean, I did read that there's been early snow in quite a lot of ski resorts, and they're able to open early.
Yes. Yeah, the big push was through Central Europe. You might have seen pictures of Bulgaria, for example. You talk about bits and pieces here. That God, you 5 foot of snow there, level as in roads and places like that. That was difficult to get through. So yeah, the big thrust of weather came out of Scandinavia, through Russia into Europe, in places like Poland, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, you name it, parts of Italy as well, Bulgaria particularly, and down to northern Greece. So that's where the thrust of it has gone. Thankfully for the UK, I can hear some people whinging at that one because they want the snow, but it's a Marmite time, isn't it, snow? So you either love it or hate it, one way or another. But yeah, you're right with that. That's where it is. And to be honest with you, that low on Thursday, it's going to go and affect Europe primarily again, this time from the west. So it's an Atlantic one that hits the cold air, and we're on the periphery as ever, floating off into the Atlantic somewhere, not doing very well, thank you very much, if you like the snow. So we're going to have to watch and wait, as I say. But you know what? December the 1st is meteorological winter. Mm-hmm. That's when it all starts, even though we're getting a little bit before then. So we got plenty of time between now and the end of that, February the 28th. I don't think there's a leap year this year, is or next year, I don't know, February 28th or 29th, whatever, for much more of this to come. So we might be talking again.